Hi, everybody. Good evening. It's RS Mallory. It's January 30th already. So we're going into the second month of 2025. And we've been talking about how to attract or how to recruit new prospects, customers, and business partners to your business. And this is a perfect time of year to do that. But tonight I would like to digress a little bit. Govvi came out with yet another spectacular product, and it's called Life Greens. And it's a packet and it's got some greens in it. And I wanted to talk about that because a lot of people don't know what greens are, and some people think they know what greens are, but they really, really don't. Years ago, um, as you know, I was a pescatarian for 35 years. I ate fish and all different kinds of good foods, but I did not eat any meat or poultry. And then when I hit my 70s, I decided that my body was telling me that I needed a little animal protein. So I started eating some chicken, and maybe once or twice a month, I eat some red meat because I'm listening to my body. But along the way, on our life's journey, uh, things happen in our lives, and sometimes we have a lot of anxiety. Sometimes we don't feel so well. Sometimes we feel absolutely fabulous. Along the way, I had a friend, because I believe in natural remedies and I have 50 years of natural remedy experience. I really, and I'm always pursuing new things, but greens was not something that I felt that I needed to be interested in or take because I ate a diet filled with spinach and kales and sauteed escarole and lots of garlic and things like that. But along the way, I had a friend who came to visit me, and this was probably, gosh, about 20 years ago. And I don't remember the situation, but I was pretty stressed. She was staying with me for the summer for 4, 5, 6 weeks, and that in itself, to have a house guest, could stress you out. But she was actually delightful. But I lived downtown in Austin, Texas, across the street from Whole Foods. So she ran across the street and she brought me back this jug of, when I opened it up, it was greens. And when I opened it up, it was ugly, Loden green, dark green, ugly, almost black, fuzzy stuff. And you mixed it up in water and you would try to drink it. And the operative verb there is try, because traditionally greens, depending on how they're prepared, are ugly tasting. And if they're ugly tasting, people won't drink them. So Govvi came out with Life Greens, and I wanted to talk about it a little because, first of all, what greens are, and second of all, I want to tell you this is one of the most spectacular tasting products, much less a green, that I've ever had. I was so surprised when Govvi came out with the greens just recently. I thought, oh, good, that's a nice product. People who maybe will need it would try it and like it. And then somebody sent me some to sample for myself. They sent them to various people in the company, and I was absolutely blown away. This has no sugar in it, but it is sweetened with a little bit of stevia. And my palate does not enjoy very sweet things, so I'm kind of like a sauerkraut and pickles girl. But this had enough sweetness in it. It was a tiny bit of sweetness in it from I think they're using stevia in it, which is a natural herb, as you know, but not enough that it would make you even say, oh, this is stevia, because stevia itself does have, sometimes it's an aftertaste. This does not have an amount of stevia in it that gives you the aftertaste. It just takes off um, the dullness, if you will, of the products that are in it. So what actually are greens, and what are in our greens? So let me see if I can share this with you. Oh, okie dokie. Um, Here's what greens do. They elevate your energy, they enhance your digestion, they modulate your immune system, which means they help your immune system build and stay strong. And if something is wrong with you and your immune system has kicked in, the greens will actually amplify it to help keep it stronger. For instance, if you're filled by allergies, or if you get a winter cold, your body is working extra hard and extra long to try to alleviate all of that. And the greens will boost that immune system so it will help you reclaim your wellness faster and easier. It increases the microbes that are living in your intestines and in your stomach. So that's what's in them. Hold on now. And let's talk about our super ingredients. So there are other things that greens are also good for. They're good for your brain, cognitive function, and hormone production. In fact, women who are pregnant, this is a very good supplement for them to take because it helps the fetus, the baby, actually grow. It's good for sensory interpretation, neurotransmission, of course, in your brain, and motor control and mental acuity. So if your body is sluggish for whatever reasons, and you're drinking your greens every single day, then your mental acuity seems to be on top of the game. It also is great for your heart and your arteries. Your blood circulation, oxygen, and nutrient distribution. So, and you know that there's oxygen in our blood, and the blood circulation travels all through the body. So, if your oxygen is at a high level, then that is more beneficial to every organ in your body. It helps with metabolic waste, which is your intestines, and carbon dioxide collection. Then there's the spleen, and not too many people know about the spleen, but it's good for immune response, antibody synthesis, and cellular recycling. That's what the spleen does. It's good for the pancreas. It helps it with digestive enzymes production and glucose management. So you'll often find, if you have friends who have diabetes of one sort or another, that they are, or they was recommended to them to take greens because it helps keep those glucose levels and the blood sugar levels down. Your large intestines and your small intestines are both where you accumulate all the junk and all the good things too that you eat, and it goes into your intestines. And the large intestines is good for water absorption, mineral absorption, vitamins. The small intestines then is good for immune support, nutrition absorption, and vitamin absorption. And how that happens is, as the schmutz is passing through the large and the small intestines, you have little hairs called cilia. Imagine this. They're going like this attached to the walls of your intestine. And at the end of them, they're like little tubes. At the end of them, they pass through the intestinal wall and they go into the bloodstream, and they go into, which avails them the opportunity to go into the rest of the bloodstream again, carrying all the nutrients in it that have been taken out of all the schmutz that they're going to take out and you're going to poop out. But the large intestine and the small intestine are very, very important, because if they're not working correctly, then you get bogged down. There are some people who carry 10, 15 pounds of junk in their body because they don't have good toilet habits. John Wayne, the cowboy, and those of you of a certain age will remember John Wayne, the hero. John Wayne, when he died, had something that they called hardening of the arteries, but it was really his large and small intestines. And when they cut him open, they saw that he was impacted with 50 pounds of schmutz, of junk. He did not have very good toilet habits. So these are some of the things that greens are actually good for. Now, our greens, exactly what they are. our organic spinach, and you've heard of Popeye the Sailor Man, and I grew up I'm a baby boomer, so we all heard about eat your spinach because it's good for your eyes, it's good for iron, but it's good for so much more. I mean, spinach is good for your liver, your red blood cell count. It's good for your heart health. It's even good for women of a certain age who go through menopause, as well as for women who are growing babies in their systems. So spinach is very, very, very important. And it is a cultivated taste, I guess. I happen to love spinach. I saute it in olive oil with garlic, and I make my garlic crunchy, and I use that as a side dish. Sometimes I put it in my pasta, but some people just don't like spinach. So this is a very, very important green that you should have. It also enhances the ability of the small and the large intestine to have that continuous movement that pushes out the junk, and it helps the cilia in your body scoop out and soup up all of the good ingredients that are in that schmutz and bring it back into your body so your body can use it as it's helping you get the stuff out. Then we have organic celery, and celery is a very interesting product. Those of you who count calories know it has empty calories, but celery is really quite delicious. It's kind of ambivalent in taste, but it's really crunchy. I always made sure that my son would take a couple of stalks of celery and stuff it with peanut butter, or maybe cream cheese with chives or something like that. And that was a really, really good snack. But the reason is because celery has an abundant amount of all the different vitamins, A, B, C, the alphabet vitamins for you. And it's good to help you with your blood pressure, with your joints, and with your heart health as well. So celery is a really interesting product and vegetable that people really don't eat, because some people will say, well, celery, it doesn't taste like anything. So they don't bother putting it in their salads. They don't bother, putting some peanut butter in it. They might not like peanut butter. They might not have thought about it, and they don't eat it. So we have organic celery because it has these important attributes. It also is great for lowering the blood sugar levels. Then we have probiotics, which you've all heard from. They help the gut with your microbiome, and there's something called probiotics, prebiotics, and postbiotics, and they're all digestive enzymes. And they live in your gut and in your intestine, and they help every organ in your body do the proper functions that they're supposed to do very, very well. So break down sugar levels, break down fat. If you have fatigue, if you have anxiety, then these types of greens are an attribute for you to take. So it creates energy. Digestion, modulates your immune system, and increases your blood sugar levels. Not increases them, but it helps to modulate your sugar levels and your blood pressure, as we talked about. So I put this in 8 to 12 ounces of water. And frankly, I don't take it every day because it depends on what your toilet habits are and what your diet is. Most people today don't have a balanced diet, and because the food chain is kind of adulterated, they don't eat a lot of veggies, or they cannot afford organic vegetables such as spinach and kale and things like that. And we also have organic kale in this as well, which is good for iron production and blood red cells and things like that. So you take a drink of this, and I take it every other day, because I'm eating salads with organic produce in it every day. And yet this goes right into your system. It doesn't need to pass through all the digestive challenges that when you eat proper food, that it has to be broken down and passed through, and then your intestines has to synthesize it out. So these greens really are kind of like a shortcut for your body to do really, really great things. If you eat a lot of meat, or if you eat a lot of carbs, or if you are looking to lose weight, then you will want to, this is not a weight loss product, but it will help your body shed all the junk that's in your intestines. Now, for people who don't have good toilet habits, and it sounds funny to talk about that. If you have friends in Europe, you know that they don't mind talking about that. Only we here in America really laugh and titter about that, but it's true. You should be, I have several friends who are naturopaths, and having 50 years of natural remedy experience, I know this from experience as well. If you're eating properly and you're eating 3 meals a day and your body is functioning properly, that's your heart and your lungs, and you're absorbing all your minerals and all your vitamins, and your intestines are working properly, you should be eliminating after you eat, not 2 or 3 minutes after you eat, but within the next couple of hours, you should be eliminating whatever is in your intestines every time you have a meal. So, and most people do not go to the toilet 3 times a day to evacuate their intestines. Then we have people like John Wayne, and I happen to have friends from a long time ago, and they had 3 daughters, and one of the little girls was always going to the hospital because they had to lock her into the bathroom. I'd say, "Where's Wendy?" I'd go over to visit and say, "Where's Wendy?" And they'd say, "We locked her in the bathroom for 2 hours. We gave her dolls and we gave her a coloring book and stuff like that, but Wendy can't come out until she poops," because Wendy, for some reason, it had a diversion to pooping. And I said to them, "You need to take her to the doctor and the hospital because something is very wrong." And they were feeding her a great diet, but indeed there was something wrong with Wendy, and eventually they straightened it out. She never did poop 3 times a day, but she did poop. There were times when she could go a week or two, which is very dangerous. So let this be a cautionary tale for you too this evening. If you're pooping only once a day, you're doing better than a lot of other people, but you should be pooping more than that. If you are not, if you're going to the toilet once every other day or even longer than that, or you're having to squeeze, or you're constipated, then something is very, very wrong. And the first place we look is with your diet. And so what I would suggest for you is that you take the greens and you drink these greens at least once a day. Again, I don't take them every single day. I take them every other day because I supplement the salads that I do eat every single day. However, I am told by some of the gals and the guys, gentlemen, who are taking the product that have had challenges, as we're discussing, that after 4 or 5 days, they become much more regular with their toilet habits. They notice that they're dropping weight, and it's really kind of funny because the reason that they're dropping weight is they may be carrying 10 to 15 pounds of schmutz in their intestines, and as it's released, that weighs. As they release it, then they lose that weight because they're not carrying that weight around internally. But they also feel better. They feel like they're cleansed. They tell me that they feel like their brain is more airy and they can function better, and they're more alert, they can sleep better, and all the other things that we discussed. And they tell me that it isn't even a question of them saying, "Oh, it's 3 o'clock, I didn't take my greens yet today, I have to take those ugly greens," because the surprise is that these greens are yummy. They're absolutely delicious. So if you are already an IBO with Govvi, then log into your back office and get yourself some greens. They come in 15 2-way packs, so you need 2 packs for one a day. And if you are a customer, you can also order them. If you are not, and you are somebody who's not with Govvi and you'd like to try the greens, please contact me or whoever invited you to listen to this call, and they will be able to help you order your greens. So again, I would call these ugly greens because they're not. They're absolutely delicious. They don't have any sugar in them. They'll help change your attitude, change your life, change your countenance, because when your body is functioning properly, when you're eliminating properly, when all the other things in your body are working correctly, when your blood sugars lower, when your blood pressure evens out, when your digestion is better, when your pooping is the way it should be, then everything is coming up roses. And I guess that's a pun. Thank you all for listening tonight. We'll see you next week. And next week will be February 2025. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.